Many students have questions about where to place solder pallions when silver soldering rings. Is it best to solder on the inside or the outside of the ring? What about soldering around textures? In this video, we will solder some wire and sheet silver ring examples and see what the pros and cons are of each. I'm Greenwood and welcome to my studio. Before soldering any rings, there must be a good fit on the joint, or seam. Solder will not fill up gaps. In my opinion, the best way to get a good solder fit on a wire ring is to size the wire on the ring mandrel, overlapping the two ends of the wire. Cut through the overlap with a jeweler's saw, cutting the two wires at the same time. This method will ensure a perfect circle with no flat spots, and the cut ends of the wires will match exactly. Normally, the cut edges will not have to be filed or emeryed. After cutting the wire, the ring will have some spring in it and not want to come back together and close tight. Push the two ends of the ring past themselves and then pull the wires slightly back, leaving some tension on the ring. Then simply adjust the two ends to meet and close tight. Now that we have a good fit, where did the solder pallions go? Of course, solder placement depends on your ring design. Remember, you are going to at least have to emery and/or polish the excess solder residue. Choose an area that can be easily accessed. I like to solder on the inside of a ring. Soldering on the inside doesn't disturb any other ring designs or textures. Depending on your ring design, soldering on the top or outside curve of the ring can also work well and be easily accessed for easy solder residue removal and polishing. Notice here that I overheated the right side and the solder flowed in that direction. It is important to heat both sides of the solder joint evenly. Many jewelers like to lay a ring on its side with a cut pallion under the wire. This helps hold the pallion in position so it doesn't move when the flux is being burnt off. Let's try this method and check out the results. When heating the ring, the flux bubbles and boils, removing the water in the flux. The solder melts and stays in place, which is great, but notice how the flux melts and sticks into the solder pad. This method also forces any extra solder to spread along the bottom of the silver wire and picks up the texture of the soldering pad. I don't like to use this method, mainly because of that fact. Also, I cannot watch to see how the solder is flowing, so I'm soldering slightly blind. I prefer to put the solder pallion on the top of the wire so I can evenly heat the solder joint and watch the solder flow smoothly. When using sheet silver for your rings, measure the correct length for the ring by using a ring blank sizing chart or by wrapping the sheet blank around the ring mandrel. Mark and cut at the correct length. It can be difficult and time-consuming to file the two ends perfectly square to have a good fit. Overlapping and cutting with a jeweler saw like we did with the wire does not work well. A great time saver is a miter vise. The purpose of the miter vise is to hold the sheet silver square in the vise while you file the ends perfectly square and flat. The miter vise has 3 slots at different angles. We will use the 90-degree slot. Slide the sheet silver into the slot with the flat straight side bumping up against the squaring peg in the slot. Adjust the sheet so a small amount of the end is sticking out of the slot. The adjusting screws at the end of the vise will tighten the slot and hold the sheet silver firmly. Now we can file the sheet perfectly flat and square. File both ends of the sheet. The vise is hardened steel and can dull your file, so only file until the silver is level with the vise. After filing, wrap the sheet silver around the ring mandrel to confirm the correct size. The 2 filed ends should be flush with each other. Push the 2 ends to meet squarely. You will temporarily have a flat spot on the ring. You can adjust the tension and alignment the same as we did for our wire example. Let's solder this ring from the inside using the minimum amount of solder. Notice I have the ring suspended in the air using cross-lock tweezers on a third hand. Using this method, I can heat the sheet silver from underneath, drawing the solder into the seam. After soldering and pickling, round out the ring on the mandrel. This will remove the temporary flat spot and prepare the silver residue area for cleanup. I've only taken a brush to the inside of the ring to show you the minimum amount of residue area that needs to be cleaned up. Texture on a ring can be a real problem when soldering. Texturing will distort the sheet ends. This example has been textured and does not have squared ends. Use the miter vise to square the blank ends the same way as we did for the smooth sheet ring. Seeing the seam on the textured side before soldering is normal. Soldering from the inside avoids any extra solder residue ruining the texture. The solder seam, if necessary, can be retextured and blended, and the seam will disappear. There are, of course, unlimited amounts of designs for rings, and unfortunately, I can't show you every scenario, but you have learned the basics here. Have a good fit. Solder will not fill up gaps. Choose a soldering area that is accessible for easy cleanup. Use the minimum amount of solder and avoid soldering directly on texture. I hope this video has answered your questions about solder pallion placement on most rings. Practice these methods and your soldering skills will improve quickly. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss any of my new videos. Check out my website, greggreenwoodjewelry.com. I'm Greg Greenwood. I'll see you next time.